Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed your mindfulness activity and having our guest, my daughter Grace, help us. And I want to know if you practiced any of those skills that we talked about last week. Any of those tip skills. So below, let me know, did you practice changing your temperature? If so, how? Did you use intense exercise? If so, what kind of exercise? Did you practice that progressive muscle relaxation or that paced breathing? Me and Miss Trapp would love to know what you used this week if you tried our tip skill. All right, guys, today we're going to learn a new skill, which isn't really new. You might already use this skill, but it's got a different take on it. And this is pros and cons. And I have a little graph that's going to help us, but as I'm pointing out, I also can see that you can see some picture frames that don't have pictures in them. It's one of my projects that I've been working on, so maybe next week there'll be pictures in there of my family or friends or something. So guys, using skills, we can still have those urges to react to when we're in emotional mind that can be problematic for us because they have negative consequences or they make relationships hard. Being at home with all your family, you might have urges to verbally retaliate or to fight or to shut down and not do anything. And so we're going to learn another skill today that can help us. And that is what are we going to do when we have these urges? Are we going to act on them or not? And a lot of people use the skill of pros and cons. Like, I think about the positive things, I think about the negative things. Going to college, like, I make that graph, like, what are the positive things? I might get a better paying job. I might meet new people. The cons, the not so great things. It costs money. I'm gonna have to get a job. Maybe I don't have a car. I'm gonna have to figure out public transportation. Like, people do that all the time. I do that, and a lot of times we do it just real quickly in our head. Should I get up this morning and do my e-learning or keep sleeping? Like, we do that really quickly. The skill that I'm going to teach you guys today is something that you can do to help you get into wise mind, and also you can do ahead of time. So if you have kind of the same urge sometimes, you could do this ahead of time, look at it, and it will help you remind yourself, kind of cope ahead of if you want to act on your urges or not. Okay? So, like I said, this version of pros and cons can be used when you're deciding between two courses of action or trying to resist a powerful urge. Guys, if you have really strong urges to do destructive things, like to use or to drink or to self-harm or to get aggressive with people in your house, to verbally spew stuff, to do things on your phone that you shouldn't, okay? So this is a good one to do with that, to do for those. You can either, like I said, write these out ahead of time. So if you know that's an urge of yours, you could do this ahead of time so that you could look at it and will help you already know which course of action you're gonna take, okay? So this is also good. Remember, this is called, what we're doing is called dialectical behavioral therapy for school. And dialectical, remember back, is when two things can happen at once. I can hate math class and go to class and do the work. I can want to sleep in the morning and still get up and do my work. Two opposing things can happen at one time. And this is pros and cons. It is being dialectical. Two things can happen that are in opposition, okay? The key here is that once we have listed all the pros and cons of both, so what we're going to do, I wrote it here. What we're going to do is we're going to write the pros and cons of resisting your urge, okay, if I don't do that thing I want to do, and acting on your urge, okay? So once you have listed all of those things out, we're able to get back into wise mind. So just the act of doing this can help get us out of emotional mind, use our rational part of our thinking, like thinking using facts and checking things out and using things that I've used in the past and remembering how they work. So the practice of doing this can calm you down so that you can get into wise mind and make good choices. It also can help you cope ahead, so next time that's happening, you can remember this or pull it out if you write it down on a piece of paper, okay? So here's what it is. So I'm going to use, because me and my family are at home, and yes, Miss Federcheck often wants to yell. And so sort of taking that urge that I often have and using it, we're going to call it verbal retaliation. So somebody does something, someone texts you something, or you see something on Snapchat, or your mom's asking you to do something for the 100th time. I know this because I do that. And you're wanting to verbally retaliate. Now that can be actually with your words, or it could be on your device, okay? You're wanting to send a mean tweet or Snapchat or whatever y'all are doing, okay? So I got my pros and cons. Over here are the pros. If we were all together, I would have you guys list them. And there are pros to acting on your urge, but we're going to first do the resisting the urge. So what are the positive things about not verbally attacking or retaliating on someone? I'm going to avoid a fight. There won't be a fight if I don't do it. There won't be an argument. I'm going to maintain my relationship. If my daughter is on my last nerve and I scream and yell at her, our relationship is damaged. We still love each other, but our relationship is damaged. So we can maintain the relationship by resisting our urge. I can learn new skills or mastery. I can think, wow, okay, that worked. And next time I can use it because it worked this time. There's no infractions or consequences, okay? If you verbally retaliate at someone at school or with your little brother, there's consequences to that. So if I don't do it, no consequences. It increases my self-esteem. I feel good about myself if I resist screaming and yelling at people. It increases my hope that, things can be okay. I can work through it. My other person, the person I'm in a relationship with, is going to be okay. I can gain trust of other people. Verbally retaliating or sending things in messages, if I don't do that, people trust me more. And maybe I could earn privileges, or that goes along with that trust depending on if it's at home or school. So those are the pros of resisting that urge. Here's the cons. Here's the negative things about not sending that nasty tweet or not screaming at my brother or sister or my mom or dad. Is I don't get to fight or argue. Sometimes we just want to fight and argue. And if I don't, then I don't get that. I don't get to make my point, okay? Maybe they won't hear me. There's no immediate release. Sometimes I'm just so frustrated I need that release. That's a con. There's no instant gratification. There's no rush. There's no, if I was at school, people might think I'm weak. All right? Those are the cons of resisting my urge to verbally scream and yell at someone or send something nasty. All right? Here's what happens if I act on my urge, okay? Because we're doing both, resisting and acting. So let's say I act on my urge. I'm thinking that through. I'm going to scream and yell. I'm going to send that nasty message to somebody. All right? What are the pros of that? They might leave me alone. I might feel good, that instant gratification. I got it off my chest. They deserve to hear it. I might get that rush, feel powerful, and maybe I'll feel in control of the situation. All right? Maybe I'll feel in control of the situation. Those are the pros. Here's the cons, the bad part. I can lose my self-esteem. I might feel bad about myself if I do that. After I look at it, or I see my mom cry, or my daughter be sad, I feel pretty crummy about the way that I acted. I might get consequences. Those can be like people taking stuff away, or the consequences could be those people don't talk to you, or they block you, or they don't want to be your friend anymore. Those are consequences. Hurt relationships, okay? Because I'm mad and I'm an emotional mind and I just react on my urge, it can damage my relationships with other people. I may have to make a repair. We're going to talk about that later, but I'm going to have to make it up to people. I'm going to have to do something to make that right. And people might think I'm aggressive or I'm a bully or any of those kinds of things, okay? So when we do this, it gives us a clear picture of the positives and negatives of acting on my urge and resisting my urge. And just because one has more than the other doesn't necessarily mean it's the best one. We have to put weight in each of those items. Like for me, maintaining relationships with people is huge. So if I look at this and I see, dang, I'm gonna damage my relationships if I act on that. Like, yep, they need to hear it right now. Like, I'm mad, and I probably am gonna have to do something to calm down. You use one of those accept skills or self-soothe skills until I get in the right frame of mind and in wise mind. But I value my relationships with other people, and I don't want people to think that I'm a bully or, you know, unhinged or any of those things. So we want to make sure that we're giving things the weight they need. If things have long-term consequences, short-term consequences, and like I said, that will help us get in wise mind. Most of the time, if you do this, you can get out, you can kind of bring that amygdala down, help yourself get in wise mind, and usually make better choices. So one, this is great. It's great to see those consequences out, and it puts you in control and gets you more regulated so that you can make more choices. All right? It's important for us to also go back and evaluate facts about the validity of each of the pros and cons. Sometimes you may identify a consequence that is actually not true and could be emotion-based. Okay, if I'm really worked up and I'm like, I got to give it to them, they got to hear it, you know, blah, 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 and I write down, they're going to think I'm a punk, that my friends probably aren't going to think that. That's not facts. That's me being an emotional mind. So we also want to make sure that what we put up there, did I just write that down because I'm an emotional mind, or is that a fact, okay? Could be like staying up all night. Let's do that. So I'm staying up all night, and I say one of the pros is, one of the cons is if I don't do it, my friends won't like me, okay? That's probably not really fact. They might be disappointed, but that doesn't mean they're not going to like you. So we want to make sure that we're identifying if things are really facts. Check the facts. You know, have you not done something with that friend and they still liked you later? Probably. Okay? Or if I don't do this thing, my friends won't like me. Or we can't have fun if I don't do X, Y, or Z. Well, have we had fun in the past without doing that? If the answer, you know, check out the facts. So, guys, I want you, me and Miss Trapp would like you to try this. See if there's anything else I wanted to tell you. I have some notes down here. All right. And, like I said, if you've done your pros and cons and you're like, you know what? I need to not act. I need to resist my urge to send that mean text or to go off on that person. I resist that. I may still be angry, and I still might need to do something else to calm down, okay? Or I may do this and realize sneaking out of the house to go hang out with my friends, I don't want to do that. I want to resist that urge. You still might not feel great about it. Like, you still may be like, oh, I'd really like to, but you know, the pros of resisting it are more important. So you don't. But you might have to use one of those accept skills or self-soothe skills, one of those other distract skills for the time being. But guys, this will help you make wise-minded choices. Really good skill. So you want to make that T-chart, make it into force. What are the pros and cons of resisting the urge, and what are the pros and cons of acting on the urge, okay? And most of the time, the urge is not healthy and good for you and helping you get to your meaningful life. So this helps us take a picture of that. So I want you guys to practice that this week. Let us know how that goes. Also, fill out the form, and also let us know if you'd like a call from us or an email. We would love to hear from you guys. We really miss you, and I miss getting to see you. So let us know how you were doing and how is the best way to communicate with you. All right, guys. Sorry this went long. Hope you have a great day and a good week. Bye, guys.